want to make sure that people understand that you don't have to be under Golden Boy Raptor, you don't have to be under Golden Boy's company to be able to speak the truth. And he's not saving boxing. Boxing survived the recession, the depression. Boxing survived so many things, and until there's one way you can get boxing out of America.
I'm going to make sure that people understand that you don't have to be under Golden Boy Raptor, you don't have to be under Golden Boy's company to be able to speak the truth. After years of working together, Oscar de la Hoya and Bernard Hopkins' relationship has finally cracked, from my opinion. He not saving boxing, survived the recession, the depression. Boxing survives so many things, and until there's one way you can get boxing out of Americas. For years, these two legends have worked together to elevate the sport and create successful opportunities for fighters. However, recent reports indicate that they are parting ways from hidden causes that are only coming to music light. Oscar de la Hoya finally broke his silence regarding this split, trying to shed light on his relationship with Hopkins and the respect he holds for music. Now, the collaboration between de la Hoya and Hopkins began in 2005, a year after Hopkins defeated de la Hoya in a middleweight title fight. The match was a defining moment for both fighters. Hopkins showcased his skill and determination, winning the bout and solidifying his status as a boxing great. That was a nice left under. However, rather than letting their rivalry define them, they turned it into a powerful alliance. When Hopkins joined Golden Boy Promotions, the company founded by de la Hoya, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for both men. From the start, the cooperation between Hopkins and de la Hoya was evident. Hopkins, known for his intelligence inside and outside the ring, brought a wealth of knowledge and experience to the promotional side of the sport. De la Hoya, with his charisma and business savvy, provided a platform for fighters to thrive together. They turned Golden Boy Promotions into one of the leading boxing promotional companies, creating opportunities for numerous fighters and contributing to the growth of the music sport. But now, it turns out that this was only for a while, as Bernard Hopkins is now leaving the duo. Oscar de la Hoya just recently expressed his feelings about Bernard Hopkins, saying, "I can't explain just how much respect I have for Bernard de la Hoya. Wrote he is a true champion and a brilliant mind in the sport of boxing. Working alongside him has been one of the highlights of my music career." De la Hoya went on to highlight the key moments they shared during their partnership, recalling the success of various fighters they promoted together. "We've built something special at Golden Boy," he added. "Music from Canelo Alvarez to Ryan Garcia. We've created opportunities for young talent, and Bernard played a huge role in that." Hopkins responded to de la Hoya's remarks with equal admiration, stating, "Oscar has always been a pioneer for this sport. He opened doors that many thought were closed. I learned a lot from him, and I'm grateful for the chance to work together. No matter what the issues are, you're still inactive." However, beneath this veneer of mutual respect lies a complicated history that occasionally surface as disagreements and misunderstandings. While both men have consistently praised each other publicly, they have faced challenges behind the scenes, especially during tough times for Golden Boy Promotions. I have the proofs. I put my liar in, and he tried to steal money." The relationship between de la Hoya and Hopkins has not always been smooth sailing. In the years following their partnership, there were times when tensions flared, particularly around business decisions and the direction of Golden Boy Promotions. One time where their relationship began to crack was in 2014, when de la Hoya made the controversial decision to distance the company from Al Hayan, a powerful manager who represented many of Golden Boy's top fighters. This decision caused a significant rift within the organization. "Yeah, it'll be better for the sport, so we can make those fights happen. You said you kind of feel it's Al Hayan's the one that's taking these networks down." During this period, Hopkins found himself caught in the middle. It was a tough time for everyone involved. Hopkins said recently there were disagreements about how to move forward, but at the end of the day, we all wanted what was best for the fighters. The worst thing he did to Canelo, he energized him to destroy. De la Hoya later acknowledged this challenging time, saying that it had been all discussed, and even though they had different views, they all managed to find common ground. These disagreements tested their partnership, but both fighters demonstrated a commitment to working through their differences. De la Hoya has often referred to Hopkins as a brother in arms, while Hopkins has called de la Hoya a true warrior, and according to Oscar, it is this bond that allowed them to carry through. If you looked closer at the dynamics within Golden Boy Promotions, it was this departure of Richard Scher, the former CEO that played a role in the tension between Oscar de la Hoya and Bernard Hopkins. Schaefer's exit from the company wasn't just a routine change in leadership, it marked a significant internal conflict that would reshape the direction of Golden Boy Promotions. Just a nice guy, and he's been a very loyal guy, and he was loyal to Golden Boy, and he realized what was going on. Richard Schaefer was known for his strong business acumen and was a key figure in Golden Boy Promotion success during his tenure, the same success that Floyd Mayweather expects to see from him. He was closely aligned with Bernard Hopkins, who valued Schaefer's strategic approach and management style. According to Hopkins, he saw Schaefer as someone who understood the intricacies of the boxing world and appreciated his ability to secure major deals and keep the company profitable. See boxing breed out of respect, generates excitement and a way out. However, Schaefer's close relationship with Al Heyman, a powerful boxing manager, became a point of contention within the company. De La Hoya grew increasingly uncomfortable with the level of influence Heyman had over Golden Boy's fighters, many of whom were managed by Heyman, and according to Bernard de la Hoya, wanted to assert more control over the company's operations and reduce Heyman's influence, a move that Schaefer opposed. Schaefer's departure in 2014 was a direct result of this power struggle, and it left a significant void within the company. It wasn't offered, it was not offered, and it was never going to happen. It was just that Al Heyman loves to protect fighters. Bernard Hopkins, who had always been a strong advocate for Schaefer, found himself at odds with de la Hoya over the direction Golden Boy should take following Schaefer's exit. Hopkins believed that Schaefer's departure was a loss for the company and was concerned about how Golden Boy would navigate the challenges ahead. Without his leadership, this difference in opinion led to a strain in Hopkins and de la Hoya's relationship. While the two men continued to work together, the departure of Schaefer had lasting effects. It was the start of the end. Hopkins, though still committed to Golden Boy, began to distance himself from certain aspects of the company's actions, focusing more on his own ventures and the fighters he personally managed in America, which called under a privilege. Correct. In a recent talk, Hopkins addressed the rumors, providing insight into why he felt it was time to move on after years of working together. I think it's time for me to explore new opportunities, Hopkins said. I've always been a fighter, and I believe it's time for me to take the next step in my career, whether that means focusing on my own project or helping the next generation of fighters. He emphasized that the decision was not rooted in any animosity towards de la Hoya. This isn't a breakup, it's an evolution. I have nothing but love for Oscar and what we built together, but I believe it's time for me to forge my own path. But I would not promote a lie now. Take that to the bank and make sure you get interest later on. We could say that the tensions that had long built up between Oscar de la Hoya and Bernard Hopkins finally reached a boiling point during the lead-up to Ryan Garcia's fight against Oscar Duarte. This fight wasn't just about Garcia returning to the ring after a high-profile loss to Von Davis. It was also a flash show for the growing discord within Golden Boy Promotions. The cracks in the relationship between Hopkins, de la Hoya, and their fighters became more apparent, highlighting the turmoil within the company that had once prided itself on unity. At the final press conference before the fight, Ryan Garcia did something few expected. He openly challenged the very promoters who were supposed to be in his corner. Garcia accused Oscar de la Hoya and Bernard Hopkins of not supporting him, going as far as to suggest that they were backing his opponent, Oscar Duarte. This accusation was a direct affront to the integrity of Golden Boy Promotions, and it laid bare the rifts that had been growing behind the scenes. But he don't determine that Oscar is saying that we misinterpret it. You know what they say, it's plain English. Garcia's anger was evident as he addressed the media in Houston. Man, a couple things I want to touch on. He began, one thing that's been on my heart is the statements that Bernard made where he'll decide if I'm going to finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He didn't decide that my coach does, my team does, everybody that grinds with me day in and day out. That's who decides, and ultimately God decides, not him. Nobody was telling him when to stop boxing, where he'll decide if I'm going to finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He don't decide that my coach does, my team does, everybody that